Today, I will be talking about the digestive system and the urinary system, and how exactly it is that they work together within the body. The digestive system and urinary system work together to facilitate the removal of waste from the body. The digestive system is made up of the gastrointestinal tract, the liver, the pancreas, and the gallbladder. The gastrointestinal tract itself is made out of the mouth, the esophagus, the stomach, the small intestine, the large intestine, and the anus itself. The job of the digestive system is to turn food into nutrients and energy that the body can use to function. This is mostly in the form of ATP. It also facilitates the removal of solid waste or stool when you have a bowel movement. The mouth is the beginning of the digestive tract. The first step is mastication, or chewing. Saliva mixes with food and makes it a digestible mixture known as bolus. The tongue then pushes the food back into the esophagus, where the epiglottis then folds down and covers the trachea or windpipe, and muscle contractions, known as peristalsis, deliver the food to the stomach. The lower esophagus relaxes to let food in, and then contracts to make sure the food cannot travel back up the esophagus. The stomach is a hollow organ that contains digestive enzymes. Cells lining the inside of the stomach secrete an acid along with these enzymes that helps break down food into a usable form. When these contents are processed, they are then released into the small intestine. The small intestine is made up of three major segments: the duodenum, the jejunum, and the ileum. Enzymes released by the pancreas and bile from the liver help break down the food even further. Peristalsis moves the food and enzyme mixture down the small intestine. The gallbladder stores and concentrates the bile from the liver to send into the duodenum to absorb and digest fats. The main job of the liver in the digestive system is to process the nutrients that are absorbed from the small intestine so they don't directly enter the bloodstream. The pancreas produces enzymes that help break down fats, proteins, and carbohydrates. It also produces insulin and glucagon. This is for processing sugar. Insulin removes sugar from the blood, while glucagon returns sugar to the blood. The duodenum is largely responsible for the breakdown of food, while the jejunum and the ileum are largely responsible for the absorption of nutrients into the bloodstream. The food, after being processed in the small intestine, then enters the large intestine, or colon. The colon is made up of the cecum, the ascending colon, the transverse colon, and the descending colon, along with the sigmoid colon at the very end. Pause. The stool contains food debris and bacteria, and the anus is responsible for excreting the stool from the body. The urinary system also removes waste. It works as a filter that removes toxins and waste from the body through the urine. It filters the blood and excretes extra water, salt, toxins, and other waste products. The body takes nutrients from food and uses them to maintain bodily function. After your body takes what it needs, waste products are left behind in the blood and in the stool. The urinary system includes the kidneys, the ureters, the bladder, and the urethra. The kidneys remove urea from the bloodstream using tiny filtering units called nephrons. Each nephron consists of a glomerulus and a renal tube. The urea, along with water and other waste forms, is formed in the kidneys and becomes urine. And as that passes through the nephrons, down the renal tubes, and eventually into the bladder. From the kidneys, it travels through the bladder and then eventually is stored until the muscles in the ureter walls contract and force the urine down. The bladder is a hollow organ that sits in your pelvis and holds the urine, and sphincters separate the bladder from the urethra and help prevent the leakage of urine. Together, these body systems work to help remove the waste from the body. The digestive tract primarily removing the bulk of waste, and the urinary system removing the waste products from the blood. This is how they work together. The digestive system will process all that nutrients, give the body food and fuel, and eventually remove that waste. and any extra toxins or extra waste products within the blood are then filtered out through the kidneys and allowing the blood to continually supply those nutrients harvested by the digestive system for consumption by the rest of the body.